Are you ready to hear an inspirational hero tale from one of our four-legged friends? My name is Kim, and this is Harry Hero Tales. Welcome to episode 8 of Harry Hero Tales, Animals to the Rescue. I'm your host, Kim Hagel. In this episode, I'll be covering a story you probably have seen and maybe know a little bit about, but it has been a few years. Perhaps some of the details are fuzzy, or you simply only know it by what became a very viral video from 10 years ago. And while nearly all of our previous episodes celebrated dog after dog, feline fans should not despair. Cats are also heroes on this podcast. Today, for the very first time, we'll be discussing a hero who also happens to be a cat. Today's episode is about a hero named Tara. Who knew when the internet was born that cat videos would become the craze that they have become? I admit it. There are times when I can sit and watch funny cat videos back to back to back, and they are highly entertaining. And I have a cat. Ramses, my 11-year-old Sphinx, is friendly, cuddly, and he has his moments, but he has not yet managed to be worthy of a funny cat video to upload. Now, Tara, she's another story. What Tara accomplished to become a worldwide internet sensation with 16.8 million views in the first 48 hours after her video was posted is nothing short of spectacular. But before we get to the big event, let's go back to learn Tara's story before she became famous. It all starts with the Triantafilo family. While they were heading back to their house one day in 2008, a cat followed Erica and Roger Triantafilo home from a Bakersfield, California soccer field. Most likely a stray, the cat stuck around. The Triantafilos eventually named her Zatara. Now, some news articles I found stated that this name was chosen from a character in the novel written in the mid-19th century by Alexander Dumas called The Count of Monte Cristo. The name Zatara was a reference to the character who was a smuggler, and it means driftwood. Definitely a meaning that is appropriate for a stray, but given what Zatara did later, I think the name was even more appropriate when compared to another reference. Zatara is also the name of a DC Comics character from all the way back in 1938, which makes it one of the oldest among the DC characters. And that Zatara was a magician and superhero. How appropriate. Now, in reference to our hero, eventually the name Zatara was shortened to the nickname we all know her by today, Tara. Tara's choice for her family was pretty magical, in my opinion. You see, the object of Tara's very public protection and affection at the time she first arrived to the Triantafilo home had not even been born yet. The Triantafilos, a young couple, did not have children at the time they opened their home to Tara. According to news reports and interviews given by the Triantafilos, it was around 2 years later, after joining the family, that Tara began an attachment and bond that eventually was displayed to the world in dramatic fashion. Enter baby Jeremy. Where infant Jeremy was, there was Tara, a baby boy and his beloved cat, She slept by his crib to watch over him and snuggle up to him. Tara even watched over him as Mother Erica held him or fed him. In interviews later, Mom Erica said she was always loving on him. As the family grew and as Jeremy got older, Tara even let him carry her. Now, I'm an adult. I have an affectionate cat, but he hates being carried. But not Tara. They became a very tight pair and best friends, according to Jeremy's parents. Asked in an interview if Tara always showed a level of protection and security where Jeremy was concerned, and the Triantafilos said yes. She has always been there. To me, it sounded almost like a mother's instinct. Certainly a caring and loving cat. Watching videos after the fame hit, she's pretty chill, actually. The perfect cat for a little boy. 4 years later, the perfect cat becomes a famous hero worldwide. On May 13th, 2014, 4-year-old Jeremy is playing in his front yard after coming home from school with his mother close by, watering flowers. Tara was outside as well, having followed them out as Erica said she always does. Jeremy is scooting around on one of his little brother's bicycles or tricycle on his family's driveway, and he's coming up from the edge of the street alongside the family car towards the front of the Triantafilos home. At the same time, the next door neighbor was moving items out of their backyard to their driveway through an open gate. With the opening of the gate, the neighbor's dog slips out without being seen and without a leash. Either smelling or hearing, or maybe even catching a glimpse of little Jeremy, and it looks like from under the Triantafilos' car, the neighbor's dog stops suddenly. He looks intently over towards where Jeremy is and begins to move very quickly towards the other side of the car from where Jeremy is playing. You can then see the dog almost look underneath the vehicle, and then he loops around behind the vehicle. The dog, an 8-month-old Labrador Chow mix named Scrappy, rounds the back of the vehicle quickly and moves up behind Jeremy with what appears to be almost for 1 second just a curious intent, but then things quickly change and he lunges at the little boy and at the little boy's leg. He forcefully whips him off the tricycle, throwing him to the ground hard. And then the dog shakes little Jeremy's leg very violently. And that's when our hero enters. As if she is a DC superhero herself, little Tara, who is probably less than a quarter of the size of the dog, body slams into the dog in what appears to be enough force to push him back not only off Jeremy, but a considerable distance away. The dog, probably stunned and thankfully interrupted from doing any more damage to young Jeremy, spins and runs back towards its own driveway. In what appears to me to be almost a scripted movie hero maneuver and pose, Tara flips in the air to look backwards towards Jeremy very quickly, sees Erica is moving towards Jeremy to help him, and then Tara bolts after the dog, giving chase to make sure it is moving farther and farther away and is not making any attempts to get back towards Jeremy. Soon after, you can see in the video that Tara loops back either under the car or from around the front, but is intently standing almost guard to make sure that the dog is remaining wherever it is and nowhere near young Jeremy. Now, where was Jeremy's mother, you might ask, when this whole thing started? She was nearby, and she heard her son cry out. It happened so quickly that she was in complete and utter shock, rushing just after the little black and brown tabby rushed after the dog. Erica runs towards Jeremy and checks on him, but then quickly moves to make sure, just like Tara, that the dog was back in its own yard and away from her son. Now, 911 was called. I listened to the call, and it appears to be the owner of the dog calling to report an incident, and that her dog had bitten a child right next door. You can hear crying in the background and what sounds like someone saying, "Get him out of here." Now, this is supposition on my part, but I'm speculating that that was most likely Erica asking them to make sure to secure their dog, who may have still actually been loose. Now, police and paramedics respond. Roger Triantafilo was called, and he rushed home to learn what happened to his family. Now, a quote from him afterwards, he stated, "I panicked when I got the call. You're just trying to figure out what happened, and there were very few details on the phone." So when he arrived, he did not know what exactly had happened, who might have been hurt, and so on. Now, upon arriving home, Roger first checked on his family, making sure that everyone was okay. And obviously, he saw that little Jeremy had been hurt and was being treated for his injuries, but he was relatively fine. Now, Jeremy did ultimately need 10 stitches, so it was a pretty significant bite to his leg. Relieved, Roger still was confused about exactly what happened, asking his wife for a few more details. He wasn't sure if Jeremy had provoked the dog. Had he done something to startle the dog? It wasn't clear to anyone exactly how the attack had happened. Now, as Roger was discussing the situation with officers, he remembered that he had security cameras set up around his house and pointing towards the yard and the driveway. Roger explained later in news media interviews, quote, "Once we pulled the video, I'm watching it with officers, and we were amazed at how the cat reacted. The bite was pretty vicious, the attack from the dog, but to see how Tara reacted in defending him just right away, instinctively, was really heartwarming for us to see," end quote. Roger goes on to explain that if Tara hadn't reacted as quickly as she did, there most definitely would have been more tearing or further bites on little Jeremy, and the wounds would have been greater than what he ultimately suffered. Roger also was grateful that Tara didn't get hurt. In other news media interviews, Erica gives all the credit to Tara. "I have no idea what I would have done without her," she said. Now, Tara was clearly unaware, or as any hero, not caring how much smaller she was than the dog. She did what she had to do to protect her best friend and her family. In the aftermath, Jeremy was in a bit of shock. He later explained to news media, quote, "I got a boo-boo and I got a new Band-Aid." Amazed and proud of their amazing cat, Tara, and knowing that just to tell people wouldn't demonstrate the truly remarkable action that little Tara took to protect Jeremy, Roger decided to post the video to social media. The internet's reaction? Described by Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show as lighting up the internet, the video went completely viral. I remember seeing the video and was like many of you when you probably saw it. I was at first horrified at the attack itself, and then stunned to see this blur of black and tan that knocked the dog back off the little boy. And then I cheered my computer screen. What a remarkable little tabby cat. So what happened to the dog, you may ask? When a person is bitten by a dog, the laws in the United States vary. In my opinion, California is probably one of the strictest states when it comes to laws around dog breeds and its response to dog bites. According to research I was able to find that was published in 2014, so the same year of the attack. Now, this was published by the California Department of Public Health. The study showed that between 2006 and 2010, 77% of all animal bites reported in California were attributed to domestic dogs. The California Department of Public Health also reported that children ages 5 to 10 are 2 to 3 times more likely to be bitten than the general population. At the time of the attack on Jeremy, Scrappy's owners immediately surrendered the dog to the city of Bakersfield and its animal care center. Scrappy was put there for a mandatory 10-day quarantine, which was primarily to find out if the dog had rabies or any other infectious diseases. Now, rabies, if left untreated, can cause a dog to behave in an aggressive and violent manner. Even if that isn't their normal temperament, they can suddenly start to act very violent. Have you ever seen the movie Cujo? As a child, I loved all dogs, and still do. Even our very assertive and snippy dachshund named Fritzy, who probably wasn't the best choice for little tiny people to share a home with and try to play with, he was not cuddly or friendly. He was a little scary, to be honest with you. But Cujo, I saw that movie when I was still pretty young, and that movie is very hard to forget. And I learned I definitely do not want to be around a dog with rabies. Now, Scrappy's results, I was not able to find where these were actually ever published, released publicly. So technically, we do not know. And I think most likely the fact that nothing was ever published, he did not have rabies, because while he was listed as vicious and dangerous, if he had had rabies, I'd expect they would put that out there immediately, because while he was in quarantine during the 10-day mandatory period, the city was flooded with calls and online petitions not to euthanize him. Now, people probably thought, yes, he injured a child and he attacked him unprovoked. But he was very young, only 8 months old, and with training or proper socialization, he could be rehabilitated. Now, believe me, I get that. I do. But it wasn't a startled dog that suddenly snapped at a little boy. The video shows that Scrappy zeroed in on and almost stalked little Jeremy around the vehicle, and it was completely unprovoked and a very violent attack. So, judging from what we saw, that was a scary situation, and a dog that even with a lot of training, who knows how this dog at that point would respond. So the result, Scrappy was not saved. He was, according to the director of the Bakersfield Animal Care Center in a statement on May 24th, 2014, humanely euthanized. The best comment I found regarding Scrappy's end came from the host of Animal Planet's TV show, My Cat from Hell, Jackson Galaxy. Now, he said, quote, "I think it's important that we consider the big picture. Tara was definitely a hero, but that doesn't mean that the dog was a villain. He was overly territorial and he was undertrained. So my comment to Mr. Galaxy is well said, and I totally agree. After the posting of the video went viral, Tara's fame grew and grew. Her family was on interview after interview, starting locally and then moving out at what seemed to be the speed of light around the world. And Tara was honored in several ways. The start of these honors was to be invited by the Bakersfield Blaze, a nearby minor league baseball team, to throw out the first pitch of the game on June 3rd, 2024. Now, this is with the assistance of Jeremy and Dad Roger. On September 26, 2014, Tara was awarded the Blue Tiger Award, which is usually only awarded to military service dogs. Later that same year, Tara became the first non-human to be named the Grand Marshal of the Bakersfield Christmas Parade. In June 2015, Tara was awarded the Los Angeles SPCA's Hero Dog Award, which included a year's supply of cat food. On New Year's Day 2018, Tara and her family rode in the Rose Parade on the Lucy Pet Foundation's Paws for Life, which honors heroic animals. How fitting. Curious about how she's doing today? She is no longer a driftwood stray cat, but forever a member of the Triantafilo family. At 16, she is still watching over her BFF Jeremy, and you can still follow her. So look for Tara at Tara Hero Cat on Instagram or at taratheherocat.com. Now, while that only touches the surface of this amazing hairy hero, we have to leave it there for this episode. If you know of a great hairy hero tale and would like to hear it on this podcast, email us at hairyherotales@gmail.com. For more information on this program, visit our website, www.hairyherotales.com. That's TAILS.com. And be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you get your podcasts. This is a Southpaw Productions podcast, edited, produced, and hosted by me, Kim Hagel. Opening and closing music provided by Mary Selvage. Be sure to follow her on Instagram at Selvage613 for her live show schedule, and check out her complete catalog of music available on Spotify, Apple Music, and more. And remember, there are hairy four-legged heroes all around us. Who knows? You might even adopt one. I've adopted many little heroes from some amazing rescue organizations, and I've featured 2 on my website: the All-American Dachshund Rescue and the French Bulldog Rescue Network. If you're looking to rescue your next hero or would like to help with transport or financial support, I highly recommend both of these organizations. Neither are affiliated with this program in any way, but both have my sincere gratitude and support. Thank you to all of the heroes of the world, and a special shout out to hairy heroes everywhere.